Welcome to the Getting Started presentation for age 9 to 11. You've made an excellent academic decision for your child by choosing Moving Beyond the Pages' rigorous and engaging program. This presentation will help you make the most of this school year. It is loaded with information that will be extremely useful for a new user of Moving Beyond the Page. Moving Beyond the Page will provide you and your child with an engaging educational experience, encouraging critical thinking and creativity. And this may be why you chose Moving Beyond the Page to begin with, but now that your living room has 61 books and manipulatives spread around the floor, you may be wondering how to get started. Moving Beyond the Page is different than a traditional program, but it is very easy to implement and is flexible to work around your schedule once you understand how it is structured. We are going to walk you through organizing your books and curriculum. Then we're going to give you an overview of how the curriculum is structured and provide tips on how you can plan your year and your individual days with Moving Beyond the Page. The age 9 to 11 level is 1 year of academic instruction. The year is divided into 4 9-week concepts. Each of these concepts is comprised of 3 science and social studies units and 3 language arts units. Each unit has about 10 lessons and a final project. Now that may sound like a lot to keep track of, but all you need to know is this. Do 2 lessons each day. 1 lesson from science and social studies and 1 lesson from language arts. At the beginning of the year, you will start with Concept 1, Unit 1 for Science and Social Studies. This is the 50 states. And Concept 1, Unit 1 for Language Arts, which is poetry. When you finish both of these units, you simply move on to Unit 2. There is no calendar of days that you have to check. Each day, you simply move on to the next lesson. If your child is sick or if you go on a field trip, you just pick up where you left off. It is very simple and flexible. If you do this, you will finish the age 9 to 11 level in 1 academic year. Occasionally, you will come upon a lesson that is designated as a 2-day lesson. When you do, there is a marker in the lesson that tells you where to stop and pick back up the next day. Now that you know how the curriculum is structured, let's get back to that pile of 61 books and manipulatives spread around your living room floor. Each of the 4 concepts has 3 science and social studies units and 3 literature units. There is also some required literature and possibly some manipulatives. You may want to take a few minutes and organize your books by concept. To do this, you can either use your packing slip or the age 9 to 11 at a glance link. This is available at www.movingbeyondthepage.com/getting-started. Either of these methods will show a list of the concepts and how the units tie in together, as well as the literature included in each one. Now that you have your year of curriculum organized by concept, we are ready to look a little bit deeper at the curriculum itself. Notice that you have 6 curriculum books in the first concept, 3 science and social studies units, and 3 language arts units. These 3 units of science and social studies and 3 units of language arts comprise your first 9 weeks of curriculum. Moving Beyond the Page is the only curriculum available anywhere that lines up science and social studies topics with language arts from the beginning of elementary through the end of middle school. This will help your child to see more connections in the world around him instead of seeing subjects in isolation. You can refer to the age 9 to 11 at a glance page mentioned earlier for a complete list of how the units in this level line up together. Now we're going to switch gears and look at the lessons themselves. To do this, we will be looking primarily at the social studies unit called the 50 states. If you are using the online curriculum, you can also follow right along. Just select and activate your first social studies unit called the 50 states. Everything that we will be looking at in the hard copy versions is also available to you in the online version. Oh yeah, and one more thing. If you ever need more time with an online unit, just let us know. We're happy to reset any activations for you that you need. Let's start by looking at the table of contents. Each unit is 3 weeks long. This unit has 10 lessons and a final project. Curriculum at this level is student-directed. That just means that the primary curriculum is written for your student to be able to read, follow along, and direct his own day. You should always be available as a resource, but you shouldn't have to teach the lessons in the same way that our younger levels are structured. Notice on the table of contents that there is a parent overview section that contains an overview for each lesson. The parent overview sections provide you with descriptions of each activity, answer keys, and suggestions for further exploration. If you are using the online version of the curriculum, you can just click the link that says Turn On for the parent overview. This will cause the parent overview sections to display within the lessons as you view them. If you have more than one computer, iPad, or smartphone, you can turn the parent overview on for your computer and leave it off for your child's computer. Otherwise, you'll just have to remember to turn it off when you're finished. Before you start a unit, you should check the required books and materials page. Make sure you have access to all of the materials needed for the next 3 weeks. Many families find that it is helpful to keep a box or crate with all of the materials gathered for the unit in one place. This saves you from having to take time each day or even during a lesson to gather materials. Most items can be found in common stores like a Walmart or a craft store. If you are using the online version of the curriculum, you should also download and print the student activity pages and the reading and questions pages for the unit. If you do this from the table of contents page, you will have all of the pages you need for the 3-week unit ready before you get started. Now let's look more closely at a lesson. Each lesson is presented in an easy-to-use format with a student plan and a parent overview. You should review the parent overview section each day before your child begins the lesson. You may even want to review the student plan as well, but it is written so that you shouldn't have to. Each student plan opens with an introduction that will get your child started on the day. After the introduction section is a materials list that shows the student activity pages that are needed as well as general materials. Since you have already gathered these materials before starting the unit, your child should have a quick and easy access to these items. In the age 9 to 11 level, there are 2 journals that your child will keep through the year, a spelling journal and a language arts journal. The journal is simply a wide-ruled notebook that your child will be instructed to write in throughout the year. Ideas to think about are questions related to the concept and ideas in each unit. These are not questions that your child needs to answer each morning, but rather they are conceptual understandings that your child will gain through the lesson. The lesson will help your child to explore and answer these big questions so that her understanding of the concept is reinforced. The Things to Know section should be thought of as memory work. This section will outline the knowledge and vocabulary that your child will learn and memorize in the curriculum. Each unit has a review sheet that summarizes the things to know for each unit. This should be used as a quick daily review. It is not necessary to memorize every definition word for word, but your child should be exposed to the vocabulary in the lesson and in other situations. Activities and reading and questions are the 2 primary components of moving beyond the page lessons. Most lessons include 2 to 3 activities for your child to engage in. Some activities include activity pages, while others involve hands-on learning experiences, such as creating posters, conducting science experiments, using math manipulatives, or acting something out. There are also many activities where you share and discuss stories with your child. Moving beyond the page is a literature-based curriculum, so there are lots of reading and questions assignments. The language arts curriculum will include a reading and questions section almost every day. This section will outline the day's reading and then ask some questions related to the reading. Some of the questions will be reading and comprehension questions, but others are designed to help your child think critically about the text, determine a character's motive, or think of alternative solutions. Our goal is for children to become strong readers and also critical thinkers. Since this is a student-directed curriculum, the reading and question sections are in line with the curriculum. We didn't want children to have to look all over the book to find the pages. The structure is very simple and easy to follow. Your child just writes his answers directly in the book. The lesson will end with a conclusion that often involves summarizing ideas presented in the lesson and asking your child to explain what he has learned. In language arts, the only aspect of the program that is outside the daily lessons is the spelling program.
The weekly schedule for spelling is really simple. First, you will need to set aside about 30 minutes each week. During that 30 minutes, your child will complete a weekly quiz on a computer, tablet, or iPad. He may have to take this quiz multiple times until he gets all of the new words correct. Finally, you will review the missed words with your child and reinforce any spelling rules that give your child problems. We provide you with tools to make this really simple. To get started, just navigate a web browser to www.movingbeyondthepage.com. Click the online link in the upper right corner and then select your name from the list of students.
It is important that your child be able to read the novels and books independently. The books in the age 9 to 11 level are generally between a 5th and 6th grade reading level. Now that you are familiar with the structure of the curriculum and the structure of the lessons themselves, let's take a look at what a typical day might look like. You will spend about 2.5 hours implementing Moving Beyond the Page. It is a good idea to begin or end with about 10 minutes of review using the review sheet available with your curriculum or available as a download on our website at movingbeyondthepage.com/getting started. Moving Beyond the Page covers science, social studies, and language arts, so you will also need a separate math program as well. Don't be surprised if it takes a few weeks or even up to a month for your child to get used to a student-directed curriculum. After the first unit, or maybe 2, he should have the process figured out and probably will begin to appreciate the autonomy he will receive with a student-directed curriculum. Moving Beyond the Page will give you the framework for a fabulous year of learning. We hope your child learns a lot, grows as a thinker and a creator, and has a lot of fun in the process. If we can be of any help, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. And happy homeschooling.